I am so excited for today's episode. Why? Because we're going to be discussing a fantastic topic. And the topic is called the power of rituals. If you're Nigerian, you might think rituals. No. I have an amazing guest to break this down for us, because there's been a lot of studies that shows engaging in rituals can actually effectively change your life. And it has changed my life personally. So I met someone and I'm like, wow, the way she talked about it, the way she exemplified it, it made me so, I'm like, I need to get her on this show. And I need to get her to talk about the power of rituals. Her name, she goes by the name Ehi. And I just want to invite her to come on this live right now. So if you all can just welcome Ehi for me. Ehi, do you want to come in? Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having
me.
Thank you.
Can I get a hug?
Yes, you can.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm a hugger. welcome.
Thank you.
We are going to be learning a lot today. Are you ready to teach us?
Oh, yes, I am.
I am personally ready to be inspired. I don't know about y'all. Y'all know I love to learn. So to kick things off, Ehi, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and what you do?
My name is Ehi Oziegbe. I am the founder and creative director of Maison Fide. Maison Fide is a luxury African beauty and wellness brand that's impact focused, well-being centered, and innovation, very innovative. We're bringing a new perspective of African beauty to the world. I am also, on the other hand, a senior program manager at one of the top automotive companies in the world. And on a personal note, I'm all about everything well-being, culture, just being confident and self-assured.
I love that. And I'm gonna tell you guys, she just doesn't talk the talk, she also walks the walk. I see her, whenever I see her, I'm like, oh, that's a woman right there. I literally say that. But so I wanted to know, Ehi, what sparked your interest in the power of rituals, especially in the context of personal habits and routines?
So a couple of years ago, I just turned 30. I was flailing about. I wasn't happy with where I was, personally, in my career, even the way I looked. And I started to observe patterns, right, in my life. And one of the patterns I observed was I did not have a strict routine that could get me through my day. So I started to notice that I start my days and then my days just go away from me, just run away from me, right? Because I'm not grounded in myself before I get into my day. So one of the things I did was I started carving time out for myself before my day actually starts. And at the end of the day as well, carving time for myself to, kind of recap and, get myself together. And even during the day, I have activities I do to keep myself centered and grounded. And I've noticed that the power of routine and rituals is a game changer in anyone's life, and you don't have to do anything too complex. Simple tweaks and changes make a whole lot of difference.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, and I can totally relate to you as well. There was a point in my life where I was feeling like that. I wonder if it has to do with the way we were raised in a way.
Yes, I think so, because when we're raised to think that, hey, by 30 you should be married, have certain kids, you should have this amount or this kind of assets, this amount in your bank account. So you do have that first midlife crisis of sorts when you turn 30, and none of those things are in the picture, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, that happened to me, right? And I was like, yeah, something has to change.
Something has to change. Absolutely.
And it started with changing my routine and my rituals. Yeah.
Thank you. So we throw around the term rituals a lot, and I was wondering, what does it really mean when we talk about the power they hold, especially in shaping our daily lives? What is the core essence we're tapping into when we really understand the power behind this?
First of all, we need to define what rituals are.
Yes.
So I think personally, my personal definition of rituals they are celebrations, if you will, that we have every day with ourselves, right? So little things that give our life meaning every day. It can be your shower ritual. It can be your body care ritual, skincare ritual. It can be the little things you do. Even your prayer is a ritual. Do you know that? Your morning devotion is a ritual. Those little things that bring you back to self, that ground you and that give you perspective on life are the little rituals that, you know, we can take on and get us through our day, through our week, and through the year.
Absolutely. So I like how you defined it. You called it celebration.
Yes.
I've never thought about it like that, but it's like, it's very important. I think because sometimes when rituals are so difficult to implement or to hold on to, but if we looked at it as a celebration,
it is a celebration.
Then you might be happier, like, oh yeah, I need to go pray.
You know, like for me,
I like that.
The way I start my day, right? It starts with a prayer. It starts with meditation and gratitude. That's a celebration. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to see another day. I open my window. I look outside. I'm seeing the grass. I'm seeing the sun. I'm just grateful. I'm looking at my yard. It's easy to have a yard in America. Girl, like, it is a celebration.
Yeah.
It is a celebration.
I love that.
You know, when you have that perspective, right? When you have that perspective, it changes things for you, so that even when your day kind of gets a little rough or a little tough, you're able to reflect back on that gratitude and that celebration and anchor yourself.
I love that. Okay, perfect. Which I like how you it's like you kind of introduced my next question for you. So the next question is, I can see that you definitely understand the theory for sure, but how does this play out in your own life? Can you give us a glimpse of what?
I'm always very happy to talk about my daily rituals. So typically I have different rituals. Weekends are different from weekdays. Weekdays, my days start really early. Probably my first meeting is like by 7 a.m. So I want to make sure that, and my days don't end till like 8-9 p.m. right? I'm on calls, I'm in meetings, fine. So what gets me through my day? It's first of all starting a little early. So I need that time for myself. I need to wake up a little earlier so I can be grounded in my day. I don't want to rush into the day. I like to ease into it. So I start with a prayer, I start with meditation and gratitude, after which I take a shower, right? So making sure that I luxuriate and celebrate myself, you know, really take care of myself, make sure my personal hygiene is great, make sure I dress up every day. I don't make up. Oh yeah, but I work from home. I dress up every day. That gets me in the mood to take on the day. Look, if you work from home or you work remotely, sometimes a lot of people just tend to roll out of bed and get into work. That is a recipe.
No, I don't roll out of bed, but I don't get dressed.
I'm like, you see me, I'm wearing a wig, I'm dressed, I'm ready for my day. I may not do like makeup, but I like ready for that day. And it really helps me, you know, put me in that mood of work, right? It's like I'm going to the office. I'm ready. In fact, the way I am, I can go out and people will think, oh, she's going somewhere. Do you get? After which, of course, my shower routine, my skincare routine, my fragrance routine, it's a whole ritual. It takes a lot of time, but I do luxuriate in that, so that by the time I'm seated for my first meeting, I'm ready to go. And then of course you have your to-do list. I'm a list person, so I always make sure that, you know, my to-do list for the day is itemized, what I'm doing for my job, what I'm doing for Maison, Fide, what I'm doing for my personal life. I always write everything down and I'm checking them off as I'm going through my day. Another thing I do is, of course, I'm not a breakfast person, but it's always good to have breakfast if you can. But I do like to start my day with either a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. That just opens up my system and, you know, kind of gives me the energy to run through my day.
Absolutely.
Another thing I do is I make sure I talk to a friend a day and not texting. Like I'm on phone with my closest friends. We are talking, we're catching up, just to make sure that you have that human connection. A lot of us tend to just allow the day just go through. I talk to a family member or a friend, either my mom, my sister, my friends. I just want to make sure that I'm checking in on those I love, because that keeps me grounded and gives me that human connection.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
And then at some point in the day, I take breaks. right? Because breaks are essential for you to recalibrate, for you to relax, and for you to not feel overwhelmed. And then, of course, you eat healthy. So healthy eating is also part of my routine and rituals, right? So making sure that it is a balanced diet. I have enough water. I take a walk now that the weather is perfect. Like I always just, kind of go around the block, come back, and then I'm ready for the second half of my day. And then after work, it's a whole thing, but you have to be very conscious of every moment, right? After work, I take some time off, relax. I can either watch TV or read a book. I'm currently reading Chimamanda's latest book. Yes, and it's really interesting. I tried as much as possible to read a lot of fiction. People talk about non-fiction. I read fiction because, girl, real life is too hard. I need to leave the la la land for a little bit, right? Yeah. And then I start the second half of my day, which is focusing on my brand, Maison Fide. So working on, documents, being on calls with my team, and all that. And then I really take time out. My sister and I, we live together, so we hang out together and then get ready for bed. And then there's also a whole nighttime routine, skincare, body care, taking care of myself. I like to wind down as well before I sleep because I'm always very energetic during the day. So I like to take that time to wind down before I sleep.
Okay. So I feel like you just listed a lot of things.
Oh yeah, but it's a whole lifestyle because it has become a lifestyle for me.
It has become. So I wanted to. So let's say before you get to work, how many hours does it take you to prepare before you get to work?
About 2, because so I wake up around 5:30, and my first meeting starts by 7:30. So I'm, constantly just taking my time, relaxing, and just getting ready for work.
Yeah. There's something that when I was younger, I had a friend who used to tell me she needed 2 hours before she gets to work or leaves for work. And I used to look at her like, you could sleep extra 2 hours and you want to wake up. I used to look at her like, are you crazy? But now I actually do that as well. I don't do 2, I do probably maybe like an hour before I wish I could do 2 hours, which I would, but I'm always so scared that I have things to do that I try to rush. Like I'm like, an hour is, it's fine. But I wish I could do more because that time, it's like you're giving back to yourself.
Yes. So people think that it's cheating sleep when you take that extra time in the morning, but it really isn't. And it also shows the state of your well-being, right? Because if you're trying to grab, you're snoozing your alarm, you're trying to grab that last amount of sleep, is a symptom that something is wrong. Either you're not getting enough sleep, you're overtired, you're overstressed, you're overworked. So you need to figure out why you're constantly snoozing your alarm and trying to get in that last bit of sleep.
Absolutely. And I wanted to ask you, seems like at some point you had to change, right? One of the reasons why I brought up earlier, like they make us, the way we're raised could affect like that idea of just like waking up and going straight to your day. We kind of see our parents, they just like Africans usually always late like they never really, but my question is, what benefits have you seen? How has this changed, your life since I started,
right? So my rituals and my routine has changed my life in that I'm no longer always in a rush. Before, when you're trying to grab that last bit of sleep, and I used to be a professional sleeper and alarm snoozer. But I realized that I was actually just stressing myself because the moment I start my day that flustered, I'm already rushing, I'm already late, I'm running late, the whole day just goes away from me. And it was so important for me to figure out why that was, right? And the older you get, you want to really be in that, you want to manage your time better, you want to really be in that headspace. So that was one of the reasons why I made that change. And I've noticed that I am more productive when I ease into my day, when I start my day on a more grounded note.
So you weren't brought up this way, you kind of had to reborn yourself to become this way.
Yes.
And
however, my mom has always been the kind of person that she wakes up early. 4 a.m. she's already awake. So she has had time for herself before the kids wake up, before the whole day starts. So I think I knew about it, but I didn't know that it was. I didn't know the importance, and I didn't know that it was like a ritual. Like for me, I was just like, why is this my weekend already? Do you get? But now I think about it and I can imagine. So I know that if I even have kids now, that 5 a.m., 5:30 I'm waking up will probably be 4. Because you have kids and you're trying to get them ready for school, you might need to wake up a little earlier so that you can still ease into your day.
Absolutely. And do you feel like waking up early can also change our lives?
It's a two-way thing.
Okay.
For the most part, yes. Because you have more of your day to get things done. And people are more productive during the daytime. Now, you also have to understand who you are as a person and your patterns. Patterns also play into rituals, right? So if you're less of a morning person and more of a night owl, then you have to tailor your rituals to fit those patterns, because some people are more productive at night.
Absolutely.
Do you get? So if you're less of a morning person, more of a night owl, then tailor your rituals to make yourself more productive during the hours that your body is actually ready for that productivity.
I like that. So basically, rituals should be more personalized.
Yes. Of course.
I love that. So let's say someone is listening and thinking, I need more ritual in my life. They have a specific goal in mind, maybe less stress, more focus, or better sleep. Where do you recommend they start?
So I will take each of the items you just talked about, but if a person needs more rituals, the first thing you want to do is just evaluate where you are right now. Don't make it too complex, okay? Because the moment you make it complex, the more likely you are to abandon your rituals and your routines, right? And the good thing about routine and rituals is that you can tailor them to whatever it is. So if you want more focus, maybe incorporating more meditation. If you want less stress, adding more wellness experiences. We talked about this. So one of the things I do as well is I have a wellness budget or a well-being budget for the month, and that includes an hour or two of therapy. That includes a cold plunge and sauna session. That includes facials and a massage, and that the final one is like whatever I want to do. So if I want to take myself out, or if I want to just go do a shopping spree, so there's a well-being budget, right? And you can tailor it to whatever you want to do, but that helps me reduce stress. Whenever I go for my cold plunge, I usually go to Sweat House and I do the sauna, vitamin C bath, and then cold plunge. It's like the stress, I can just feel it oozing out of my body. Same thing with the massage. I can just feel that stress just oozing out of my body. So if it's focus, you can incorporate like focus exercises, or even just maybe reading, because reading a chapter a day improves your focus. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
Reading just, and not doom scrolling social media. If you want to really fix your stress levels and your focus levels, you need to wean yourself off social media. So starting your day doom scrolling, like you just wake up, the first thing you picked up your phone, or before you sleep, the first thing is before you sleep you're like scrolling through your phone. Those things are harmful to our health. Absolutely. If you want to improve your focus and reduce your stress, you need to start detaching from your phone a little bit.
I like that. There was a time I went off my phone, I went off Instagram for like a month. And
did you notice any difference?
Oh yes.
Less pressure, less stress. You're not bothered about what's happening out there. And now that the news everywhere is just so horrific.
Yes. It's like I didn't even know what was going on. I got back on social media and then I
not seeing that. This one happened. Wow. But that period of that 1 month that you were offline, you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
You can see that you are enjoying your house. See, you'll be in the house, like you just be enjoying yourself.
Just you and yourself.
You go up, come down, enjoy your life. Go to your garden, come inside.
Absolutely.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if you're on the phone, you're constantly pressured. You're looking at what this person is doing. We can have a whole separate conversation
on that one.
what your phone does to you.
Absolutely. And which leads me to my next question. How do you feel technology has impacted our ability to create and maintain personal rituals?
So technology is a two-edged sword, right? I feel like it has made things easier when it comes to personal routines and rituals. You can be as productive as you want using your phone, using your personal electronics. However, it is also the greatest source of distraction. So let's say I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is start scrolling Instablogs, start scrolling on Instagram. Trust me, that 2 hours I would have used to be productive in my morning, you know, take care of myself, do my routine, I'll probably just be doing scrolling, and then I'm late for work, and then I start scrambling through my day. So it can be a huge source of distraction. So at the end of the day, we owe ourselves that personal accountability to, and that discipline to really, because it takes a lot of discipline to have those rituals as part of our lives, right? So we really need that personal accountability if we really want to make our rituals and routines a thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. When did you say you started implementing rituals again, if you don't mind me asking?
About 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Like 3-4 years ago.
Right. And then when you started, was there some resources that helped you, or this was just like a sit down with yourself?
Oh, so there were resources that helped me. And guess what? I watch a lot of vloggers on YouTube that do like my day in the life, and I watch a lot of wellness, like beauty wellness vloggers, and I started to see how they were living their lives, and it just, you could see they luxuriate in their own existence. Like you can see how they're enjoying themselves. I learn a lot about like skincare, what the good products are, watching them, and I was just like, you know what, I want to feel relaxed and happy like these girls. How do I do it? And then I started evaluating myself. So that's when I saw that, oh, okay, I'm always doom scrolling into the morning. I end up being late. I'm scrambling through my day, and then everything's just shit. And then it's just day after day after day doing the same thing. So that's when I decided to become very conscious and intentional about my rituals and routines for my day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because I was like, yeah, because for me, I'm still working on rituals. I've not got into that mindset of celebration yet. And that, I think that's one of the things that I loved about this episode, like learning that we can see ritual as a celebration. Because when I sit over there in the morning drinking my tea, because in the morning I make tea, lemon, and I slice ginger into it.
That is a ritual on its own.
Yeah. And I'm eating that ginger. If you know how I feel, it's like I'm like, this is good.
You feel good.
Oh my God, so good. Like now, whenever I'm not awake by if I'm not awake between 4 to 6 a.m., my day feels
like it's just a whole rush. Yes.
My day does not feel the same. Like I need that moment to myself.
You do need it.
I didn't used to know that, but ever since I started doing it, it's a life. Everything she's saying, I'm a witness, real life witness. Thank you so much for saying that. And which leads me to my next question. The biggest part that I feel like, I think everybody in the world will wish to have a ritual, but the biggest thing that they struggle with, including myself, is consistency. How do you tackle that when it comes to your rituals? How do you tackle that?
So rituals can become really monotonous and it starts to look like work if you just keep it the same. So I try to switch up my rituals a little bit. I do that with different things, maybe using a different body wash. It can be something as simple as that. It's my fragrance routine. I never use the same fragrance every day. I have like a huge collection, which is, but I switch it up. So I wear fragrances based on my mood or based on what I'm trying to achieve that day. So if it's a Monday, typically Mondays I wear more powerful fragrances because it's like a new week. I'm ready to face this week, that kind of heads down. by Wednesday, it's already hump day, you know, that you need to pick me up. So I wear something lighter, fresher, more playful, like looking forward to the weekend. On Friday, I know that, it's Friday, so we're probably going to go out this night. So I wear something seductive, you know, a little sexy, that kind of thing. So there's a fragrance for every day. And that's one of the ways I switch up my rituals a little bit. Sometimes I switch things around. I can wake up. And another thing I do is I lay my bed first thing in the morning. Once I get up from bed, I have to lay it because I have that. It's a sense of achievement. The first thing I achieve every day. So once I wake up and I lay my bed, I can switch. I can take a shower first and then come back and meditate and pray. Just switch it up a little bit. Sometimes I just go to my garden and stretch and just do like a light workout. And doing it in the garden in the morning is so therapeutic, girl.
Really?
Just take your mat out. Trust me. Let me tell you something. That vitamin D, when it hits you, you will be so energetic.
I'm scared of being out there by myself.
Girl, I'm telling you, just take your mat
Just
out.
try it.
Just try it. I'm telling you.
Really?
The fresh air, the smell of the grass, like it's just so grounding. Do you understand? It's just so energizing. So I just switch it up a little bit. Sometimes I take a walk in the morning, you know, like a 10-minute worship walk, 20-minute worship walk is such a game changer for me in the day. Listening to like worship songs, just praying and coming back. So there's a bunch of things you can do. Just switch it up. That way it doesn't seem like work to you and it doesn't make you like just give up on it before you even start.
Absolutely. Switching it up. I like that. I think I'm going to try the whole garden thing because I'm not gonna lie, I'm low-key scared of
your garden.
I feel like there's nothing to probably be scared about. I had a friend, I went to visit her, and then she was telling me about she's scared of like snakes, so she never goes in the back.
Girl, I go in my back. My sister and I were in our Sussex era right now because we did a whole little garden. We planted like herbs, flowers,
so
fruit.
cute.
Girl, we are utilizing that house to maximum.
That is so cute because of her. So for some reason, ever since she told me that. Because sometimes you're like an empath. You will be scared too. So I need to.
My neighbors saw like a snake recently.
Oh my god!
They shared it like on the community WhatsApp group, and I was like, yeah, if I see a snake, I'll just call animal control now. See, girl,
what if you don't see it on time?
If I don't see it, most of them are garden snakes, so they are hardly ever poisonous. Hardly ever.
And they will hardly ever come towards you.
Yeah, most of them will just avoid you. So, and you can even do it on the concrete. If you don't want to go on the grass, you can just lay your mat on the concrete, stretch. You're still outside, so you're still getting the impact. You see that fresh air, doing deep breaths outside, fresh air, walking around a little bit. If you don't want to even use your garden, just wear your sneakers and go on a walk and come back, and you will just feel the difference.
I wish to use the garden. I've heard about that. I've heard about the power of that.
Of just being close to nature.
Yeah, I want to. I'll try that. I'll try that. So, Ehi, we've been singing about the praises of rituals, but we all know nothing's perfect, right? What are some potential downsides or pitfalls we should be aware of when it comes to ritual?
Like I mentioned before, becoming monotonous. That's the biggest thing, right? Because when rituals start to seem like it's the same thing every day, it's boring, it just becomes this whole other chore you have to get through every day. So that's why I'm big on, adding a little jazz to it here and there. And also when I'm doing like when I have my personal time, I want to make sure that I have something I'm looking forward to. So it could be like my mid-afternoon ritual when I take a little break from work. I can go have an ice lolly or a popsicle or something, just something, a little treat to look forward to. Or I take some time for my phone, like, okay, this is now my time to get on social media, let me see what's happening, stuff like that you can look forward to. Give yourself little goals, little things to like kind of look forward to as part of your day. So you incorporate that into your routine and rituals, and it just makes it a little more bearable.
Absolutely. I like that. So the other thing I was thinking is when people start like doing rituals like that, do you think some people can also become like inflexible?
That's it, right? So people will not be like, oh, this is my time to do this. I can't do anything else. And that it defeats the purpose, because your rituals and your routines are supposed to make you a little more productive and a little more flexible.
Absolutely.
So when you start to become rigid, then you've defeated the purpose of having them, right? So you need to just be you need to be watchful. I mean, it's not set in stone, nothing's set in stone.
And I also wanted to ask you, what are some of the most common rituals you see people implement that's actually harmful to them?
Harmful? Some people have rituals that, involve maybe So harmful can be, it's relative, right? If you have a ritual that's maybe linked to like alcoholism or drug use, that's harmful, so you just have to be watchful and mindful and make sure you're doing wholesome things. You don't want to be doing things that will probably have adverse effects on your health and your well-being. So
absolutely. Thank you. And if you had to pinpoint one ritual that has been a game changer for you, would you mind sharing that with us?
Oh, my shower routine, girl. And let me explain why. Like, when I take a shower, it's a whole process.
Okay.
So from the bath gel I choose to use that day, I don't even use the same bath gel every day.
Really?
Oh yes. My sister says I have a problem.
Okay, she'll give us some recommendations, y'all.
Recommendations, but I never use the same bath gel every day. So like, I have a bunch in my bathroom. I just, whatever my mood is, I also use it based on my mood. And I told you about layering fragrances. It starts in the shower. Like, starts before the shower, but like from my shower gel through my body butter or oil through like the fragrance I use. So I luxuriate in that. I think it's a celebration of self. Like, I'm taking care of myself. I'm very happy. I'm looking at my skin. It's supple, it's soft. I smell
good.
Touch it? Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's supple, it's soft. I smell good. I feel
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but I needed to feel that. Like, mine's not that. I need to learn. I'm gonna get some things for her.
I smell good. I feel good. And it just impacts my well-being in such a positive way, so that whenever I get into my day, even if the day decides that it wants to really show me, I'm also ready for it, because I'm like in a good headspace.
Absolutely. So shower routine you have. So sorry, I want to get into a bit more detail about that shower routine, because ladies, we need to learn a few. Look at her, she's so elegant.
Not just learning, not just ladies, like even the gentlemen.
Fellas. She's calling y'all out too, fellas. Okay, everybody, ladies and fellas. So walk us through detail of your shower. You talked about you use different
body products.
So walk us through the detail.
So I start my shower routine. I always take hot showers. I've not advanced to the level of taking cold showers yet, because I think women love hot showers.
Yes, I do.
So even from like brushing my teeth, it's a whole thing. Like, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm using my tongue scraper, I'm using my mouthwash, I'm flossing twice a day, every day. But that starts my morning routine, and then I get into the shower. I have like 3 or 4 different shower gels I'm using in a particular shower. So it's not just one thing, so I'm layering different things. I always make sure I have like actives and then stuff that will accompany my scent. So I use a lot of Naturium body washes, the glycolic acid or the vitamin C, just something that can, kind of exfoliate and make sure that my skin is healthy. And then I go into like my body care. So the body butter and oil I use every day is never the same. I have so many as well. So I always switch it up, different scents, and I always make sure that they're scented. I hardly use unscented products. And then I go into my skincare. So making sure that I have my base, vitamin C, I have maybe another hydrating serum, either hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, or something else. And then I always make sure I use my face cream. My face cream stays the same. I love the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. That is like so good for my skin. And then I make sure I have sunscreen on every day. Even if I'm working from home, I wear sunscreen in the house, because girl. And I also apply sunscreen on my arms, my body, like the visible parts. And then we go into like the fragrance. So I start my layering with like a body mist and then go into the fragrance of the day. So that takes some time, girl. Yeah. So that's why I have to wake up earlier to do all that every day.
Yeah, I love this because this is something that I personally struggle with, and I'm pretty sure some people struggle with it. So I'm single, you know, I'm in the house. So whenever I just wake up, I shower and I just put on my pajama.
No, I wear.
And I go to work. And I'm so scared, like, you know, if I have a husband, like I need to try to be taking care, like you should be taking care of yourself every day. It's a thing that you should be doing. And I love that you do that already, like, you know, and it's somewhere I want to get to.
But you're not even doing it for your husband, you're doing it for yourself.
I love that.
So a lot of people, like, I have a lot of, my sister and I were very big on that. We buy a lot of like 2 pieces that we just wear at home. So it's not pajamas, but it's more like loungewear. So it just, you're comfortable, but you're not overdoing it, right? So I have loungewears I wear at home, like maybe like a pair of pants, you know, sweats, and like a nice top. So that way, when I even sit down and I'm on a call, I'm this kind of, maybe I'm type A like that, but
I think you're type A.
really, because I'm always on camera. I'm not the kind of person to not be on camera. I like to be on camera. So I'm wearing my wig, you know, my face is good, like, so maybe I'm type A like that. But I just like it adds to a sense of accomplishment for me during the day, because I feel like if I'm just sitting in my PJs, I'll just be tired, you know. You're still in that sleep mode, even if you showered, there's just that. So I like to make sure that I'm wearing my dress. Like,
you're giving I'm getting someone that's organized, someone that is,
I try to be.
Someone that is maybe type A. Are you type A?
I think I am, you know, but see, in as much as I do all these things, I'm also kind of lazy too. Like, I procrastinate a lot. So I don't know. Sometimes I question if I'm type A like that, but yeah, for the most part, I am.
Maybe it depends on the matter, like the subject matter. Yeah. When it comes to you, like your luxury.
Yeah. And you know what? I think it's luxury. I think taking care of yourself is so important.
Yeah.
Like, oh, girl.
Absolutely.
I don't play with it, because I have a lot of responsibilities and competing priorities. So you have to prioritize yourself
absolutely
too. Otherwise everybody else will just take a piece of you and there'll be nothing left.
Absolutely. I like that. Today I was doing something, I was just like, man, I was literally telling myself, I'm like, Dela, you need to take care of yourself more, because my birthday is coming up and I'm not really planning to do anything. I'm just like, you should
I'll give you a few tips. Even if you want a quiet birthday, because that's what happened to me this year. I just wanted a quiet birthday. And what I did that day was I just took myself to the spa. Had a great massage, like that massage entered my spinal cord.
Can you give me the place?
Yes. Is it? From there, I had like to a steam bath, like they scrubbed my body, everything. It was just a me day. Then I took myself out to lunch, had a nice cup of coffee, had like a nice lunch just by myself. I'm sure a lot of people are not even comfortable with themselves. I'm comfortable with myself. In fact, the older I get, the more comfortable I am with myself. So just took myself out, had a great slow day. I didn't even run any errands, you know. I would just listen to my favorite podcasts on I Said What I Said. I don't know if you know them.
No, I don't know.
Oh my God, you need to listen to that podcast. So I just had a slow day, talked to my friends, talked to my mom, talked to people that were wishing me happy birthday, and that was it. So you don't need to do too much. You don't need to do too much, but I had one of the best days I've had in a long time.
Really? On my birthday, I'm not off, but I think I'm going to take it off.
Oh yeah. I always advise people, take off your birthday. Please. There's 364 days to get to work. Take off
your birthday. I love that. Thank you so much for saying that. So if you could give our audience one starter ritual, something simple and accessible that anyone could try, what will it be and why?
One ritual I think everyone should incorporate into their day. Just take a moment when you wake up to sit down and just do nothing. Just be. Whether it's with a cup of coffee or it's with your prayer, during your prayer time, just relax and kind of visualize what your day is going to look like. When you do that, and that's what I do when I write my to-do list. So I write my to-do list and I just visualize, what's this day going to look like with all this that I have to do today? it just does something to me, centers me, right? So that even if the day goes left or right, I have a vision of what I want to do that day. I've centered myself. I'm calm. I'm relaxed. I've planned out my day. It's a game changer, and it doesn't need to be 10 hours. You can just sit down for 5 minutes and do that. And what I do when I do that, I kind of ground my feet in the ground. So I press my feet in the ground just to remember that, hey, Ehi, you are here. You are loved. You can handle whatever comes your way today. And that's it. Just take a deep breath. And deep breaths and grounding my feet in the ground. Even like sometimes when I'm at work and things are going like
crazy
awry, I just ground my feet and say, yes, Ehi, you can handle this. This will pass. You can handle this. And then I take a few deep breaths and then I continue my day. So that's a ritual that I have as well to handle, tough things.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. As you're saying grounded, like the way you said that, I feel like I was grounded.
You were grounding yourself too?
Like it's like when the beginning of the day and I'm like, I feel the peace.
Yeah. Peace is so important.
Oh my gosh. I feel the peace. I love that, Ehi. I love that, Ehi. And I just wanted to say, I think I've learned a lot today, particularly around the power of rituals and some things I could do better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and not only some things I could do better, but also like the mentality that goes into how you view rituals. Like rituals is a celebration, y'all.
It is a celebration.
We are out here celebrating them. Because of this, Adiola is going to be doing rituals on her birthday.
Oh, trust me. And I know you will give me a call and tell me that, babe, I had the most relaxing, peaceful day. Have a great meal. And like I said, it doesn't have to be one expensive ass thing. Go to Massage Envy.
Yeah.
Girl, they will massage that back for you. Go, maybe cook something nice for yourself.
Yeah.
Something that you don't eat every day.
Yeah.
Just relax, sit down, and be mindful. I think being mindful is so important because sometimes we can just mindlessly be watching TV or mindlessly be scrolling on our phone. Make sure that you're in the moment, you're feeling the moment, you're appreciative of the moment, and you're a spring babe. Oh my god. See, spring is my best season. You don't know, really? Right now I'm blooming. During winter it was not like this, so I was very sad, like really? When I came back from Nigeria, like especially January, February, and I was born in February, so I'm a deep dead of winter baby, right? But winter is not my friend, like especially when the days are darker, the nights are longer. But that's where my rituals anchor me, because my rituals for the winter are kind of different from my rituals for the spring. Do you understand? So with seasons as well, I kind of switch things up. Yeah. So I really depend on like my cup of teas and what I'm drinking, and I have like so many kind of teas at home. So today it can be Moroccan mint tea.
I love that.
Tomorrow it can be like this hibiscus kind of juicy tea. Another day it can be Earl Grey. Another day it can be chamomile. So I always have different things I'm drinking. Even the way I make my coffee, I don't just make regular coffee. I jazz it up with a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg to make it a little celebratory,
Absolutely.
right? So little things like that, it just goes to celebrate my life.
Absolutely. And I just want to say thank you so much for this moment.
Yes.
If there's one thing that you would share with everyone that you just want them to, as a take home for them regarding the power of rituals, if you could please just let them know.
All right. Rituals impact your well-being. So having a great set of rituals for your day, for your week, for your year, you tend to realize that you are returning to self. Your well-being will thrive. So today, just take that one simple step. Start something new today. It can be anything. You can, and the great thing about rituals is that you're not spending money, but you're investing in yourself.
I love that. I love that, Ehi. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You are welcome.
To close things out, we like to play a quick game with our guests.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like rapid questions, and it's like the lightning round.
Oh my gosh.
If you can do it like really fast, whatever comes to your mind first, you can just say it.
Okay.
So, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay, I was gonna say something about like this is the lightning round. Okay, if you could design a ritual to celebrate the changing of seasons, but it had to be silly, what would people do?
Oh, silly. I'll go dance outside during the spring and summer months in the morning. Yes.
And scream maybe?
And scream. Just, enjoy it. Let loose. Yeah.
If your confidence, I love your look, by the way.
Thank you.
If your confidence, if it had a theme song, what would it be?
My confidence had a theme song, Independent Woman by Destiny's Child.
Ooh, I don't know that one. I thought it was by Neo.
No, all the independent.
Oh, I know. I know. Okay, perfect. What's a compliment you'll never forget?
You smell good.
Ooh, word. What's one non-physical trait that makes you feel beautiful?
My self-confidence.
I love that. If you could create a ritual for your audience to do right now, what tiny action would it be?
When you wake up, lay your bed. Let's start with that.
Awesome. Well, that was lovely, Ehi. I just want to say thank you.
Thank
But
you.
before we leave, sorry, I know I'm like, this is like the third time. But I want you to talk about your brand.
Oh, yeah.
What you do, I want you to talk about it. Yeah.
So, like I said before, Maison Fide is a luxury African beauty and wellness brand. We'll be launching later this year, September to be precise, and we're launching with a fragrance. So our fragrance is a celebration of the culture in Africa, of the different ancient rituals that we have. And our first fragrance is actually celebrating the tea drinking culture of Morocco. So that's something I am looking forward to. Yes, Morocco, they have a huge tea drinking culture. If you're coming into a place, they will welcome you with tea. If you're celebrating something, they celebrate with you with tea. If you're mourning someone, they mourn with you with tea. Everything has to do with tea. And it is such a gorgeous celebration. So we are starting off with Morocco, and there's so much on the African continent that is luxury as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely. It is mindful, it is intentional, and it is centered around well-being. And that is what Maison Fide is promoting. We're promoting that, and we're also community focused. So impact is so important to us. As we are building these products and selling these products, we're also giving back to the motherland.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Can you spell Maison Fide for them?
Maison Fide is MAISON for Maison, and Fide is FIDE. And follow us on Instagram at Maison Fide.
I love that.
Thank you.
Everyone, I want you to thank Ehi for me. She did amazing. I learned a lot from her, and I just want to say thank you all so much. Please follow Maison Fide.
Yes.
And also follow Ehi on Instagram.
Ehi_OZ on Instagram as well.
I love that.
Thank you
for
having
everyone.
me.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.